Hey guys, it's Ben with Myers Woodshop, and you know Mr. Cool because of their mini splits, especially like the one I put out in my shop. But did you know Mr. Cool did whole home units? So they sent me a whole home unit and they wanted me to try it out in the house. So let's check out what a whole home unit looks like from Mr. Cool. All right, so we're at my house. I'm here with Ben Grawl. Here with Searcy Heating and Air.
Searcy Heating and Air.
We're in Arkansas, so if you're in central Arkansas, especially Searcy, that's where we're out of.
Yep.
He's gonna be the installer for this, and you can see behind me we have an older unit. This house was built in 93, 94, and I think this was original to the home.
That's correct.
You can also hear maybe how loud it is. I put my mic to it. It is not super quiet. It's not super loud, but it's not super quiet.
Yep.
Ben is the professional, I am not. So give us an overview of what we have here and kind of what your thoughts are about what is installed.
Like you said, you got a 1993 system. You got a 5-ton, we call it a split system. You got a furnace, gas furnace upstairs. It's a natural gas furnace. It's not an LP or anything like that. Outside, we just have a straight AC. It's a 10 SEER, which in 93, you know, 10 SEER I would say was probably bottom of the line, something like that.
And SEER is the rating of efficiency?
That's correct.
And what, I think 10 SEER is probably outdated now. They don't even make it. What's the lowest SEER that is made in 2021?
Right now, the lowest SEER is 14.
14?
In 2023, the government has released already that the lowest SEER is going to be a 15 SEER.
Okay.
So, you know, right now, 14 compared to a 10, I mean, the efficiency level, we're talking about a pretty good stratification.
Okay.
There.
All right.
American Standard, a decent brand, you know, not a whole lot to this, not a whole lot of bare bones. It's funny, it says high efficiency on the top, and it's a 10 SEER, but anyway.
Yeah.
Good marketing, but yeah.
Okay. So what I have from Mr. Cool should just replace this unit outside. Is it going to be a direct swap, do we think?
Okay, so what they sent you is actually, it's not a standard system. The furnace and the coil seem to be a standard system, but the outdoor is kind of like a variable speed mini split.
It does look, the outdoor unit does look like, from the pictures I saw, the mini split that I have in the shop, it does look like kind of two of them stacked on together.
It does, it does. So the one in your shop is a smaller tonnage. The one that they sent you is a 4-ton. So I mean, you know, like you said, it's got some height behind it, but the pros behind the variable speed is you get a higher SEER rating, so a higher efficiency level, and the quietness of those fans, generally speaking. Now, I haven't ever set a Mr. Cool or anything like that, so. If
it's anything like the mini split that I got for the shop, I don't even know that it's on. Even standing right by it, it is ultra quiet.
Normally with the 4-ton, you're going to be able to hear it a little bit more just because it's a bigger system. You know, it's going to be set in taller, but it's still going to be the same thing. It's not going to be anything like this. It's going to be, you're not going to be able to hear it from the other side of the brick wall. Right. You know, it's going to be moving. It's going to be quiet.
The mini split that I have in the shop, just in case you want to know, is about 1,500 square foot. My house is about 2,800 square foot, so it needs a bigger unit.
Correct.
So let's go up in the attic and check out what I have up there. This is what my upstairs unit looks like. It's pretty long and big. To me anyway. And Ben, why don't you give us a tour of what we have upstairs?
Again, this system is really old. This is kind of a thing of the past. This is the furnace from right here, I don't know if you can see it, all the way. I mean, the thing is 5 foot long. There's not too many furnaces around these days that are 5 foot long. So that's the first thing. I mean, your coil comes all the way out to here. What we're going to end up replacing is from all the way over there. I don't know if you can see that.
Let me pull over right here. Right about here, this piece will come off.
To right about here. So the pieces that they sent, like I said, again, are going to be, I would say, pretty traditional. Everything that we're going to be putting in up here is really similar. Now, how it's going to be different is when it meets up, this system inside, when it runs with that system out there, it's going to be it's going to be a little bit different.
One question that I wondered about, not being an installer, is how do we get this thing out of the attic since it's so big?
Not easy. So the short answer is we rough man it. We rough handle it. So we're going to tear this apart. We're going to cut these loose. When we pull it out, these are really bad about laying soot because the burners
Yeah, this is a natural gas.
That's right.
Right.
It's a natural gas, but in the newer systems, when they're put in here, like when you have this new one in here, it's going to have a door on there. Your burners are not going to be like open to this air right here, per se. So on this one, they are. So when we get this thing loose, you know, we're going to have to cap both sides as we're pulling it down. We don't want to get soot all over the house as we're going through. So, man, it'll be fun, but it's going to be okay. Like I said, it's turned backwards. Whoever installed it actually backwards. I have no idea why they did it. And on top of that, that's technically not code. We're in the county. We're not in a city that pertains to, you know, so we still are under Arkansas code, and we're going to be installing it up to code. But all of our install, this side when we're finished is going to be our access side.
All right, so we checked out the upstairs furnace, so let's go out to my shop and unbox what they sent and take a look at what that is.
Sounds good.
All right, we're out in the shop. These are the 3 boxes we got from Mr. Cool. Condensing unit, this is the outdoor part. You'll notice even in the box, it's even taller and skinnier than the outdoor part that I had in my house. And we have a furnace and the coil, right?
Correct.
Okay, so let's open the condensing unit and see what's inside there.
All right, so one of the things that we're going to notice right away, and by the way, this, like I said before, this is my first Mr. Cool unit. I've not done one of these before, but they seem to be really similar to lots of the things that I have done before. One of the things that I noticed right away is that on most of the things that I do, and I've done a ton of the mini splits. I've done the Carriers, the Daikin's, the LGs, the Samsungs. None of them have 2 service valves. All of them always have 1 service valve, and I'm looking in there. One of the things that, like down in here, normally I always have 1 service valve. So checking pressures when I'm done with these things, you know, it's hard getting a good sense of how well they're running. I'm able to look and get the specs. Based on the specs, I'm able to see how well the system is running, what it says it's supposed to be, but there's a high and a low pressure, and if all I have is the low pressure, it's really hard to know what the whole system is doing. So I don't know yet if that's exactly what this is. I'm hoping it's what it is, and I guess we'll find out when we actually get into it and start looking at the specs and everything. But if that thing is an actual high side service port, I like it already.
All right, we talked about SEER rating on what I have outside. The SEER was 10, right? And this is the outside unit, and this SEER says 17 to 18.
Looks like it's 17 to 18. So, like I said before, it's going to be a variable speed system. I'm assuming a lot of times these are, which means if it's variable speed, the fan motors are going to have different speeds. I don't know if you can see that or not. They're probably going to modulate on their own, and it's going to modulate between the 17 or 18 SEER rating based on its pairing with the inside system.
And the inside system has its own SEER rating, is that right?
No, they're rated together. So
okay.
A SEER rating has to do with the whole machine working together. So as we were looking, I just now realized that this came with the flare fittings, which I'm super pumped for because you know, the 3/8 flare is not hard. That's easy. I can find that. I can make that myself really easy. But the 7/8 flare is not easy to find. Matter of fact, all of my flaring tools, the biggest they go up to is 3/4. So I can't make it. I was struggling to figure out what we were going to do. I went out today in preparation and bought this, thinking that maybe it would do what I needed to do in the event, and then I just solder on. But it looks like they thought of that for us, so great.
All right, let's take a look at this box. I think this is the coil, is that right?
That's correct. This part is the coil. It's the part that's going to go up and attach to the furnace up there where we looked at earlier.
What does the coil do?
The refrigerant cools it down, the air goes across it, and it cools you down.
Okay.
Is the simple version.
Gotcha.
Yep. So when we put this thing in there, our refrigerant tubing is going to attach to this. It's going to have our little, this is in effect the thing that's going to make you cool.
And this is what the coil looks like inside.
So this is going to be our furnace. Okay, so first thoughts, I mean, the casing of it is durable. Let's see, I'm going to need a little bit of something to pull the doors off, but I mean, everything looks pretty standard, just like a regular system like that I would go to my supply store and pick up. Like I said, it doesn't feel flimsy. The
Now
cabinet.
the wording and everything seems like vertical. In my old house, I had a vertical one in a closet.
Correct.
Upstairs, everything's turned on its side. So this will be basically the front facing as to where the one I have in the house. Now this is kind of facing the back end.
Correct.
Where it'd be super hard to service.
Correct. And so when I was saying before where it's got its doors that's going to be kind of covered up, that's what I was talking about. This in essence is turned toward the back on the other, which this one, if it was turned backward, man, it'd be super hard because in the event at some point in the life of it, you have to change a blower motor or you have to change some of the components on it. These doors are going to have to be removed and you're going to have some space to work. So when we get up there, we're going to be wanting to orient that to where we can access it later on in its life.
Yeah.
You know?
And it is significantly smaller than what's up there.
Oh.
This plus the coil makes up everything that I have up there basically.
That's right.
And it is tremendously smaller. You can see that on camera.
Much, much smaller.
So these are the three pieces we have. I guess the next step is really to install them. All right. Well, thanks, Ben.
Thank you.
We'll get your guys to install this tomorrow, and we'll have a time lapse of that working right after this.
All right, so what we've got here is our old slab coil. The way this thing was installed, the plenum and the furnace was attached to this directly, and these are very inaccessible. This slab coil here doesn't seem to be ever cleaned. It looks like it's never been maintained properly. As you can tell from this side, the air flowing this direction, it has got a lot of this debris and buildup, and that is causing very bad airflow. This is the pass-through side of the coil. This is what it should look like. After a preventive maintenance, this is what it would look like. That's proper airflow. It will drain correctly. We highly suggest preventive maintenances. This is going to cause this system to run improper. It's going to cause bad airflow. It's going to cause refrigerant issues. Preventive maintenances. We're taking out this slab coil. We're going to take you inside and show you our A-frame coil and how much better they are to maintenance and how more efficient they are. Here we have our Mr. Cool 4-ton A-frame. As you can tell, this is the direction that the airflow is going. This coil has a lot more surface area and it's going to have a lot better refrigerant flow. It's going to have a lot better airflow. It's going to be a lot more efficient. The way that this coil is set up, it is actually accessible, so it makes it so much easier for preventive maintenances. We can get in there, we can clean these coils, and we can get the airflow correctly, we can get the refrigerant right, and the system's going to run a lot longer and a lot better.
Okay, so here we have our completed inside system. One of the things that we did realize actually while we were doing it was we have a dual fuel system, which means this inside is a furnace, which we knew that already. The outside is actually a heat pump, so we had some fun things to try to go over. But one of the things that we realized about this furnace when we came up, hauling it up the stairs and all that kind of thing, was the durability of this thing was pretty nice. I work with two big companies, two of the top five manufacturers of heating and air products out there. And this furnace was really nice and durable. I'm not going to have to worry about it sagging over time. I'm not going to have to worry about indentions in the cabinet. It had multi-orientational, multi-directions we could use it. And so we really enjoyed using this furnace. So now also the coil, the thing that's cool about this compared to the one before is like what we were talking about before when we were up here. The coil access panel was on the back side. So with this one, our coil access is on the front, which is super important when it comes to the actual maintenance of this system. Also, before when we talked about the furnace, it was the same thing. All of our access ports were on the back side, with the exception of the blower compartment. On this one, everything we need to do now is sitting right in front of us, which is good. When it comes time to clean this thing, to do our yearly maintenance, all we have to do is pop this door out and we're instantly accessed to the coil. So we really like that. This drain being on the front is gonna make it super easy to get in there and do the maintenance so much quicker than if it would have been on the back like what it was. All right, so here we are with the Nest Generation 2. As I said before, I think that we were a little bit unsure. I've dealt with Nests many times before, but sometimes their capabilities and their linkability with other systems are not necessarily the greatest. So we were a little bit cautious and nervous of whether or not this was going to do the trick. But after pulling a couple extra wires, getting the programming straight on it, it ended up being pretty easy. Not much of a problem at all.
All right, the install is all finished. We're outside at the heat pump. Ben, what did you think about this?
Okay, things that I like about this system. The first thing is I really like the fact that there are 2 service ports on this thing. Most standard systems have that. Most mini splits do not. So I can't look and see how this system is actually performing. The fact that I have a high and low pressure side means a world of difference to me, so I can know that this thing is functioning the way it's supposed to. The second thing I like about this system is the fact that it doesn't use a communicating wire. It's wired up in a standard configuration. I don't have to worry about stranded, shielded wire. It makes it so much easier for me, the installer, to put it in and not have to worry about a DC voltage call or different things that can mess up my communication. So I really, really like that standard wire up. The next thing I like about this system is the fact that it's a variable speed. It gives us a much higher efficiency, and it's a whole lot quieter on the outside. You don't have to worry about being able to hear a big loud noise on the other side. The next thing I like about this system is the fact that it's pretty durable. When we were moving it, putting it in place, it felt just like any other standard system. It was, it was made well, and I feel like it's gonna last for years to come. The final thing I like about this system is the fact that it's got a 10-year warranty, just like any other standard system.
All right, so that's it for the install in my house for the Mr. Cool stuff. I'll leave links down below to all the things I used in the house and the one in my shop. And if you're in the Searcy or Arkansas area and you need a heating and cooling master, we can find Ben. Ben, where can we get you?
Once again, my name is Ben Grawl. I'm with Searcy Heating and Air. You can always reach us on our phone number at 501-827-1995. You can also give us a like on Facebook and Instagram, and you can always catch us on our website at searcyheatandair.com.
All right, we're gonna start outside at the condenser, right? All right, so we're at my house. I'm here with Ben Grawl. Is it Grawl?
Grawl.
Grawl,
Yeah.
Okay. Just questioned myself.
Grawl, yeah.
Any minute now, he's gonna come in, I hear him outside. All right, we talked about SEER rating for what I had. That's about right. Deacon, you got it. So that's it for this Mr. Cool system. This is in the house. Let me start over because I'm thinking about that.
Can I say something different?
You can say whatever
on
you
our
want.
chain. They can get us they can reach us you can, man, that sucks. Okay, hold on.
I'll leave links to all the stuff I have in the house, to this, what is this?
Heat pump. Okay, so.
All right, so.
All right, so. Okay, so. Okay, so.
Okay, so.
Okay, so. Okay, so. Okay, so. Okay, so.
So.
So, but so. Okay, so. Okay, so. Okay, so. Okay, so. All right, so. Okay, so. Okay, so. Okay, so.